Well, let me take the time right now to read it for you, Andy. It's a thing by George Carlin.
Oh, yeah.
It says, sooner or later, the people of this country are going to find out that the government doesn't give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you. All they are interested in is keeping and expanding their own power. Now, George Carlin said that in the 60s. And now, here we are, where we've got the same thing going on. I mean, I've talked about it before. It's the same bird, it's just different wings. There's two sides, but they never, and I mean never, I can't remember the last time that the House and the Senate and the President and the people all agreed on one thing or another. Most of the time in the House and the Senate, it's infighting, filibustering, inbreeding maybe. It's just sad, but they certainly don't have the American public in mind, because if they did, they would try to at least get together on something. I mean, it can't be that both parties are such bad ideas makers that no party can agree. Andy, is that what we're seeing? I mean, it would be a lot easier if both parties did a couple things, okay? First of all, the Democratic Party. They need to do a couple things. I mean, going green is a good idea, but we're already in the next extinction event. China and India don't give a goddamn if we're going green or not. So it's, buy an electric car. I paint in my spare time, okay? So I'm supposed to buy an electric truck to put all my ladders and paint supplies in, and then drive it to work, plug it in, and then be able to drive it home and plug it in. However, none of that technology is available, and they're screwing us with the gas prices. Am I right?
No, you're absolutely correct.
Okay, and they're just keeping going up. Like I said, green is look, I've played the game Sim City for 30 years. I'm more of an expert on the whole energy thing by being a Sim City expert than Hunter Biden. Okay? Solar, I mean, and wind, I mean, come on, it's like, oh dear, let's get a picnic, let's go have brunch by the windmills. Wind has never been an effective mean of power. It costs oil up the yin-yang to make it. It costs oil to lubricate it, and when they're done, there's nowhere to put it. Solar panels take up 2 minutes. We don't have the technology for the Biden administration to be shoving the Grand New Deal down our throats. Okay? Infrastructure, I'm down with infrastructure. Let's fix highways. Let's fix bridges. Solar cars and stuff, I'm not down with it. I have a job and I can't afford solar cars. So, another thing that the Democratic Party could quit being so liberal. I mean, geez. But another thing, they need to open the oil reserves. We've closed, we have reserves, we have pipelines, we have all this stuff that's part of his, it's just growing pains. He wants to go have brunch under the windmills. It's like, we're not ready. You can't throw it down our stuff it down our throats when we don't have the capability to have electric school buses and electric taking our kids to school and mowing lawns and doing this and doing that. Yeah, it's out there, but is it cost effective? No, but geez, Andy, what's gas at? I think it's almost to $5. I thought I saw this last weekend, $4.98.
They're just trying to keep it right under $5.
Right, but diesel's already
Yeah, diesel's been over 5.
Yeah, the diesel's over 6.
Quite a while.
So, they need to just stop trying to just shove it down our throat and maybe transition this just a little bit. And hey, maybe we should talk about big oil, Mobil, Chevron, Texaco, all recording record profits this quarter. So, something's going on there. I wonder if the White House, if Biden and Hunter or whoever's in charge there, not sure, see, fell on his bike on Saturday. What is the president who's 83-ish? 83. Why is the president who's 83 of the United States of America out joyriding on a bike and falling? See, both parties need to get with this. That's part of it. The Republican Party needs to do a couple things, too. As much as unpopular as this statement is, I'm sorry. But the big lie has got to go. It divides the country. There is no proof. And Trump, even a couple weeks ago in Georgia, said that the Republican primaries were rigged. Monkey Business Media offered $1,000 cash for anyone that could give us any kind of evidence that the election was stolen, fraud, thrown, whatever you want, rigged, whatever, German servers, tennis servers, whatever you want to say. Cash. The only rule was, Andy, wasn't it, they couldn't use Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. Rudy Giuliani stated in court, in front of a judge, to keep from being disbarred. They asked him, Rudy, where'd you get your information? Facebook. Sidney Powell, out. So all the arguments that you have, I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. This is not Black Sheep with David Spade and Chris Farley. Vote for Conley. It's not that. Dead people did not vote in Michigan. Period. They need to quit it. The second thing the Republican Party might need to do, the old white men, leave women alone and tell them what they can and cannot do with their bodies. If we had those 4 things going on in Washington, gas prices would come down, inflation would come down, people would get together, we might even do brunch under a windmill. Let me give you an example of politics in work or politics not working. We're going to beat I-90 to death once more. If you don't know what I-90 is, it was voted in, was it last year, Andy, or 2 years? Last general election, right?
Last general, yeah.
Okay, and what it did is it legalized, we already had legalized medical, legal marijuana. We have a Republican House and Senate. I-90 said that we were going to do some certain things with that. When I voted for it, I read it, and it told me that money was going to go to health, human services, education, and things like that. That's why I voted for I-90. Also said it would be legal right away. The Republican House and Senate made several changes over, this is bipartisan, an example right here of what I'm talking about, how they're not getting along. The Republicans changed it. First, they didn't let it be legal for like another, a couple months more. They had to let it go. They had to figure out what they were doing. Then you couldn't have a new business. Then they were going to limit the THC content. And then they said, well, wait a minute. We're going to send the tax money to communities, and I forget, it's a drug treatment fund that goes for the people that need drug treatment. Okay, also went to a retirement program. The bulk of that money, that tax money, goes now to the fish, wildlife, and parks. Montana's big cash cow. Democrats and voters couldn't understand, what the hell, man? This isn't what we voted for. It's completely different. Okay? Republicans rammed it through, and now we have all sorts of rules. We can't buy marijuana in the city of Great Falls. Certain counties are dry. All these stipulations were put on it. So this fall, when group homes and mental health services and developmental services and human services are hiring at just disgustingly low wages, and the next school bond comes up, and everybody in the community is like, I ain't freaking voting for another school bond. You can thank the Republicans down in the House and the Senate for removing education from the marijuana taxes. Don't like having them do bond issues? Express your displeasure at the polls. Speaking of politics, and we're going to go on to it, I was reading a poll yesterday, Father's Day. Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. There's a poll that came out yesterday. And it states that the majority of Americans are not in favor of either Trump or Biden, and they're certainly not in favor of a Trump-Biden. Again. And I'm right with them. I mean, both, think about this. We got both in their 80s by the time the election's coming around. I mean, Biden will be in his mid-80s, Trump will be 80. On what planet is an 80-year-old man hip to what's going on in the world? I mean, seriously, think about it. I'm in my 60s, Andy, and I don't know some of the new lingo and jingles and, some of the music. I mean, what the hell is that, man? That's not Led Zeppelin. We're going to put... What the hell? I don't want to vote for... I mean, pretty soon they're going to be like in their 90s. What the hell is wrong with this country? That's all we got? A couple of guys in their 80s that aren't really hip at all? Biden's falling down and Trump's... I mean, and these polls, you don't know what to think anymore. I mean, because polls and all of that, they're all... I mean, who does a poll on Father's Day on Sunday, and who's answering these polls? I didn't get a question here. Did you, Andy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then, well, I agree that I don't want to see two 80-year... You know what I think? If we should have two 80-year-old men square it off in the ring. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sponsored by Depends.
Depends, yes, sir. And like I said, man, what can they know what's going on? Did you hear what the new kids are saying? Where I was going with the news is that these polls are coming out on Sundays. I mean, something changed when it comes to news, and they changed, I know, when I was a kid. But, geez, when I was a kid, we'd gather around the TV, and Walter Cronkite, Walter would read the news. He wouldn't interject opinions, attitudes. He would just say, that's the way it was. This is it. This is the news. Somewhere between Walter and this morning, when I saw that the poll came out yesterday on Father's Day, news became, I don't know, a toxic slew of lies, propaganda, and misleading information. And that's on a good day. You can't believe none of them. You can't believe the left. You can't believe the right. The right's all like, going nuts. The left's all going nuts, and the news is like, it's not news. It started when there was Turner, when he had the Braves were always on, and we had 24-hour news. And that's when it started. Then they restarted reporting bullshit. Yeah, so-and-so's dog pooped on a sidewalk. And someone didn't pick the poop up. I mean, there was an explosion. I used to date a girl. Her parents were pretty cool. They had a TV in the living room, and in the evenings they'd be in the kitchen, and the TV in the kitchen. And every time I'd go over there, old mom and dad be watching Bill O'Reilly, other Fox News, telling me that this is the news and this is the way it is, and Bill O'Reilly is gospel, and all these news channels are real news and not entertainment. Saying Bill O'Reilly is a real newscaster is like saying I'm a real newscaster. I'm just opinions. I've had people call me on some podcasts. Well, you got this fact wrong, and you got that fact wrong. I don't give a rat's ass. My opinion's my opinion. You don't like it? I don't care. I mean, the news is like, the left is all, your major, what are they, CNN and your CBS and ABC and NBC, and over here you got Bart, you got Fox, and you got, and they're all like propaganda. I mean, it's just propaganda, it's lies. You can't take none of it as gospel. I mean, I'd help you if you take any of our stuff gospel. Yeah, Pipewrench said that. If I got a piece of paper and I'm giving you statistics, then I've looked it up, or Andy's looked it up, or somebody's looked it up. But, these news is just like, now they can say certain things, not certain things. I don't remember Walter Cronkite. I like saying Cronkite. I don't remember him bashing. Who was president when Walter was around? There was Johnson, Nixon. No, everybody bashed Nixon. Oh, I am not a crook. You guys think. We've had some recent people in office that made Nixon look like a saint. I'll just leave that there. We would be amiss if we did not talk a little local flooding. We had rain on Father's Day. We've got rain today. We've had freaking major floods. I mean, the worst that we've seen. Yellowstone, all in the eastern, southeastern, like in Garnet and Big Timber. Even Billings is having flooding problems. Yellowstone Park's roads are washing away. No visitors there, so there's been no people playing with bison or people playing with grizzly bears to report because it's closed. Supposedly they're going to open Yellowstone day after tomorrow. That'll be Wednesday. And then strap it in. We got more, I don't know how they're going to open it. The governor said it's going to be open. So, speaking of our governor, while the flooding was going on, the state of Montana was in crisis, and everybody was like reacting a la when Ted Cruz bailed in Texas. Nobody knew where our governor was. Nobody, knew why he was responding. It came out later. He was in Italy. It was confidential. I don't know what to read into that. I'm not going to, whatever. I'm sure that as soon as the flood started, he didn't jump in a plane. We need to get the fuck out of here because it's flood. I don't think that's what he said. I think he was already gone. It's hard to cancel a foreign trip in a second. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We have federal dollars coming. It's really bad here, people. We got some flooding going on. So with that in mind, Montanans and tourists, Stay the hell away from the rivers. Don't think yeah, it's a good time to kayak. Let's go into the White Rapids. No, don't do that. Okay? We got rivers high. Okay? Not as high as some people in the, but it's high. Okay? So, be careful. All right? Golden State. Hats off to Golden State. Did I call it? Yep, I called it. Less than 7. Golden State, Steph Curry, another MVP, 4 titles. Do you think we can put him in the same conversation as Kobe and Shaq and Michael and Magic and Larry? After watching his just crazy. The guy gets him from 3 points, like from behind his back. Yeah, I think he deserves. He's got 4 rings. He's got, yeah, I think he deserves. Meanwhile, we got the Stanley Cup just going on. The Avalanche and the Lightning. Colorado already has a 2-0 lead in the series. They rolled Saturday night like 7-0. I mean, they look like the 2002 Red Wings when we had 10 Hall of Famers in our team. We're going to wind it up a little bit. How are we doing with time-wise? We got to get?
We're looking pretty good, right?
All right. I see it. If you're going to be at 8 o'clock... and you're following our live feed, you're going to be late. So you better get in the car, you beat the horn. I see the fireworks thing out. The Great Falls Police had a fire thing out that said there'll be absolutely no fireworks on before the 2nd of July. Okay? And it's been shared. Be cool. Don't be that guy. Great Falls Police trying to keep it to a dull roar. I don't know what was going on Saturday night at the fairgrounds or wherever. I live in Riverview, kind of over by, I'll leave it at that, Riverview. And, at 10:30, 11 o'clock, we had a fireworks show. I mean, dogs hiding behind damn couch. I'm like, everybody duck and cover quick. All right, then Putin's here. It's fireworks. So, it came out. Don't put fireworks up. Next thing I know, what was going on Saturday night? Anybody want to share? Was there something in town?
Yeah. There was it's the Big Boy Scout International Jamboree at the fairgrounds.
They were jamboreeing it. So it was like Boy Scouts.
Those good deed doers, yeah.
The good deed doers chased my dog behind the couch. It's 11 o'clock at night, It's like, it's quite the show, though. It's hot. We're going to remind you again, it's summer. Okay? Couple things you need to know. If you put your hand on a pavement and it's hot, it's too hot, and it hurts your hand, it's going to hurt your dog's paws. Already we're getting reports of dogs in cars. People leaving them in cars. What the hell is wrong with you people? Are you that freaking stupid? How do you leave a kid and a dog in a car? And I've heard the people that do it say, well, I need to get something, to remind me that something important is in the car. You need to be reminded that something freaking important is in the car. A kid, the dog isn't enough. Shelters are traditionally filling up again. Summertime is a bad time for the shelter, and with COVID over, everybody that thought it was cool to get a dog while they were locked up is now abandoning their dogs. Way to go, motherfuckers. We need to adopt. We need to not shop. They're breeding them faster than we can save them. You need to spay and neuter. The breeders are we can't keep up. The shelters are full. If you can help out, if you can foster, if you can adopt, if you know somebody, if you see a stray, don't ignore it. Great Falls is a no-kill shelter, so we can hold them till they find homes. Don't leave them in hot cars. Don't be an idiot. Just use some sense, people. You know, I mean, we're going to do some more trending. I always look at what's trending in the news before we do a podcast, so we have filler, is what we call it. You know, if so-and-so, you know, I-90 was a part of filler because it was an explanation, and we looked it up. All the dogs that are going on, can't be using it as filler. You guys need to be getting out there and doing the right thing. So, rainy this Monday. We expect temperatures to go up by Friday. We're going to be like 900 degrees out. It's Montana. One day it's 90. The next day it's 50. We got people coming back to Yellowstone day after tomorrow, so expect next podcast to have buffalo bison stories, goring stories, or maybe a grizzly bear or two thrown in there. So, everybody have a great Monday. Until next week, remember to spay and neuter, keep your duck and cover drills, and kiss your dogs. Till next week, talk to everybody later.